This is a confirmation reading to the full moon in Sagittarius reading for the Soul Collective. This is a 3D perspective of that reading. The song that came on as I was starting this is Cold War by Cautious Clay. And let me they wanted me to read some of the lyrics here really quickly. I started this job selling rocks and arrows because they only swipe right if you F for follows. Welcome to the days of the broke and shallow. But if we just spoke like we meant it, would you reference this open part of me? The minute I know the time we spent in came corrected in my anatomy. Okay, so this is interesting because it's kind of giving a masculine energy here. It's alluding to like the obvious, yeah, but like in a metaphorical sense. It's alluding to the human condition between men and women, which has been a very heavy topic recently. And I don't want to get into gender specifics. This isn't a gender specific reading, but it has to do with pride and patriarchal undertones of the current themes at play across the board. Collectively, societally, all the way around the world. Like everything right now has to do with this back and forth between this almost like Mars and Venus energy kind of going back and forth. So now here's the thing. The third eye, immediately when I'm tapping into this, feels very unsteady, as if someone is unsure how to perceive the current situation or the current reality seems very distorted. And we just came out of an Aries, a whole 18 months of North Node in Aries. We came out of a lot of Aries energy. We stepped into Pisces. So we're going from the first house of self to like a completion from 18 months to 18 months, right? All the while Saturn's going from Pisces to Aries. So I talked about this in the beginning of the year, but those themes of distortion and confusion and smoke and mirrors are coming back around right now. And it feels like for some of you guys, you don't know your power in a situation. You don't know the power that you hold, because in the physical realm, maybe that's not something that is honored or respected. The type of power you have, or the type of structure or stability you hold in the physical realm is not honored, because it's more in the unseen. It has more to do with spiritual gifts, intuition, discernment, creativity, feminine truth, right? It's something like that that's not honored or respected on the same level in the physical realm because of patriarchal structures, right? Because of masculine energy. So there's some situations here in the physical realm that we're looking at, and some of you guys are like, why is it so much all at one time? And I'm hearing, we don't know our place with you. We never have. And it's like, I mean, it like beyond the obvious, and they're saying just say it, beyond the obvious of what's happening. It's like the principal of the school gave all of the little boys, slingshots with rocks and said, go, have at it, have fun hitting the girls. That's what it looks like in a metaphorical sense. That's what our society looks like right now. And I would say the girls, representing the softer energies are the ones that are more vulnerable. So again, it's not gender specific. Look at it as more of a metaphorical sense. What does the patriarchy mean for us as a society? It means the upper hand. It means privilege. It means the ones who have control. It means the ones who have power, money, stature, the ones who make the rules, right? And so it's almost like someone gave out a bunch of guns to the bullies and we're like, go take control. So there's something about ego and pride just being honored and being given the floor, being given the stage in the physical realm. and the lack of consideration for minorities, for women, for children, for those who are more vulnerable in the physical realm. And that energy is actually hitting a wall here. And you can't see, maybe you don't see that because of the things that are happening to you in the physical realm. The people around you can't see that. But in the divine, in the spiritual realm, in the unseen, in the sacred, these energies are hitting a wall. And it's because so many of you guys are saying no. Absolutely not. No. I'm not going to put up with this. Now, underneath that is a lot of breaking ancestral curses and patterns, and shifting your mindset, and doing the healing work, and you know, standing in your power and feminine empowerment, all of those things. But there is this. I hear you've won. There's a few archangels coming through to speak to me. I'm hearing Archangel Uriel's coming through and saying you've won. You've won whether you see it or not. And someone else knows it, but again, there's this someone gripping to control. That is their addiction, is control. So there's certain situations that are erupting right now because it's a grasping of control. So if you're asking your guides, why is this happening, or why do I keep getting no, or why does this situation keep getting stalled, or why do I keep dealing with block after block after block? You are co-creating, and the reason is coming to you. It feels like this full moon is bringing a lot of awareness about the truth of your path, what comes next, and what you're actually excavate, the treasure you're excavating from your soul through these problems and these challenges in the physical realm, what this is opening up for you. But again, in that reading, the whole key was for you to come back to your heart. So right now, if you're dealing with challenges, another message that came through is some of you guys might be tempted to fall back into addictions during this time, or this might feel like an extremely lonely time when you know, healing from certain codependencies or addictions is really trying emotionally and mentally, and you're losing steam when it comes to your movement and how you take action because of just how much harshness is being thrown at you in the physical realm. Use this for art, create with it, come home to yourself by creating and transmuting through creating and making art. And it feels like when you do that, you're going to come more and more and more and more in alignment with your truth here. This card is about resonance, and your resonance matching where you want to go. So your voice. But for some of you, this is your voice triggering someone else's coping mechanisms, as in control or something else, something that, you know, a shadow aspect of them, because it resonates and it hits home. And for others, this is whatever coping mechanism is being uprooted right now. Use the art to access the resonance you want. The biggest challenge is that you're having to gut trust right now, really follow your intuition, and you can't do that when you have a lot of other energies in your energy field, whether it be addiction with a substance or something like that, or just scrolling too much, or whether it be a codependency with another person and their energy getting in the way. Regardless, there's a lot of challenges coming through the astral plane. So specifically the High Priestess coming out for this collective. This is a collective who is developing their intuition, if not spiritual gifts and practices. So your clarity and the cleansing of your energy field for clarity is so key to your ability to take the right steps and to use what's happening as co-creation to gain this this resonance you want for your next steps. And so some of you guys, you've got some big messages coming through here. And for others, you guys are actually sending out big messages through your words, through your resonance, through saying no. So again, some of you guys, the reason why you're running into no's is because you're handing out no's. And that's a positive thing more than you might realize right now. There's a message coming in here, however, and so it feels like we're going to go into this as another reading here, but there's a message coming in here, and it's heated. There's heat, there's anger, there's frustration there. You might have received this earlier in the week, or this might be something coming around the full moon. I'm getting there's more to this. Wait. Do a second message. Okay, so we're going to do a second message on this. However, for now, like I said, there's something here around your resonance, and not having full clarity on what's happening next. So your resonance is ultimately connected to your truth and how much you've accessed your truth. So be honest with yourself right now. Is this you? Is this your problem? Is this how you feel about yourself? Do you feel confident in your steps regardless of whatever is happening in your reality? Are you afraid, or are you picking up on someone else who's afraid? Are you slowing yourself down, or is someone else slowing you down? Or rather, they're saying, is someone slowing you down, or are you slowing yourself down? Yeah. Some of you guys, it's a shift in perspective on excuse me, the ability you actually have to move forward. Okay, they're clarifying something about this message, which we're going to get into in a moment. Oh my God, the throat. So this was something that happened in the full moon message. My throat was going in and out. I just had a milkshake, or not a milkshake, but a smoothie. So I had milk in it, which can sometimes cause this disruption in the throat, but also there is a lot of impedance to the throat chakra from the physical realm. And the sinuses were flaring up through all of that. The psychosomatic cues were like sinuses flaring up, selfishness. Excuse me. So this messenger card has a lot of heat coming off of it. And the cards that are coming out in the tarot, I haven't pulled these out for you guys yet, but I do want to talk about this. So again, what we just discussed, that's an overarching theme of what's happening in the physical. Now we do have a lot of people who were able to thrive in the patriarchal society with their feminine energy. Mary, look out below. This is tied to very practical and logical means of or perspective of the world. This is kind of like following society's rules, going along with this, what society wants for you and what society tells you to be as a woman. What is a woman on societal standards, right? How should women act? How should you be? And again, we can take it further, like how should minorities act? How should minorities be? Where should they belong? That kind of thing. That's also kind of there's other themes coming up with this, but to keep it simple, we're really talking about the patriarchy and how it is kind of controlled. We're really talking about the Empress energy and the feminine collective. So how it's controlled this feminine energy. But I think we could extend it into minorities as well and the injustices that we're seeing at play. And those of you who are walking this path, spiritually speaking, religiously speaking, societally speaking, you are a minority. If you are considering yourself a psychic, if you are walking a soul path, if you are doing energy healing, or if you are on a path that, is more Aquarian in that way, it's futuristic or it's different, in society's rules, you're doing something different and new, even if it's ancient. So that's what we're seeing here. Again, like I said in that full moon message, there's either challenges here when it comes to control, masculine energy, patriarchal control, or there's challenges when it comes to like beliefs, pride around those beliefs, and how long they've been standing, like loyalty and to those traditions and those beliefs. And so those are the two big themes at play that are causing rockiness in the physical realm right now. And it's really odd because these two energies, they're in this Five of Pentacles energy. Okay, so and the fact that my throat just keeps getting disrupted when I talk about these energies gives me the sense that they're in denial, and that my energy's all of a sudden getting like excitable. These energies are in denial. There's a lot of anxiety, and they do not want to admit it. They don't want to admit it. They are not being honest right now about how they feel, you know, a level of unsteadiness and unsturdiness that they feel. And I think that a lot of you guys are picking up on this, and because this is how it's always been, they've always been in power and you've always been smaller than them in some way, or they've always been the authority and you've always had to abide in some way. You are still kind of sensing that kind of dynamic where you have to abide and they're in control. So if that's the case, when there's a power who has control, that's again, if they're not telling you they're in a Five of Pentacles energy of loss and poverty, but they're feeling it, right? Then you're feeling it. Then you're taking it on. Then it's being cast onto you. Because if they're not holding it, then someone's holding it. So that means it's being pushed out into the environment around them. This energy is playing games with the collective. Period. This energy, so I'm talking businesses, I'm talking people who run money things, people who handle the law, people who handle things in the physical realm. They are playing games with you right now. If you are feeling challenged left, right, and center, they are playing games with you because they feel small and they're not admitting it. They're in denial about it, period, point blank. So a lot of you guys, this is a co-creation, whether you see it or not. You don't realize that right now. You're saying no. You're standing up for yourself. You're breaking the patterns of playing small in the face of this, or just submitting to it, abiding by it, and just saying yes and thinking you don't have any other choice. You saying no is co-creating. You are breaking that pattern of submission. And that's the whole thing. So, oh my goodness. Whoa, wee. This energy does not want that to be known. That's all it is. It's a game of cat and mouse right now. So some of you guys are picking up on this and you're like, what the hell is going on? Why are you acting like this? It's almost like a common sense has gone out the window in the world of people who are ruled by common sense and practicality and logic. It's like the common sense and the logic has gone out the window, and you're like, aren't you the one that runs on that? Aren't you the one that follows all the rules? And now it's like we're making it the land of make-believe. Yeah, some of you guys are dealing with people who are making things up, or they're just, they're running in circles, and you're starting to catch them in lies, or you're starting to catch them in certain ways of being and acting, and you're like, this isn't real. So some of you guys are a mirror to these energies right now, and it is triggering to them, and it is stressing them out, and is making them feel rejected, abandoned, because they don't have the same control that they used to have. Part of this is chaos at play. I mean, just look at LA right now, right? And again, LA for the most part is doing just fine. It is running businesses. It is not like fire and mayhem everywhere, but there's been some episodes, right? And that's, the story that's going out everywhere and controlling everyone else's perspective of LA and the world at play. And it can feed fear. It can feed rebellion and excitement, which can feed fear. or it can ignite our souls to take action in a positive way, and to see the power that we actually hold, all of us individually, through our minds, through our connections to our soul, through our purpose, through our passion. And again, it's just, we're seeing the power that we have in ways we haven't before, thanks to this chaos. Thanks to this chaos. So again, remind yourself of that when you get riled up by little things that pile up in the physical world, or just challenges after challenges with people in the physical world, because it's very obvious right now that people are losing their grip of control, because the economy is losing its grip of control. The whole wheel and cog system is shifting out of, it's like a transformer, right? And nobody knows how it's about to transform. Nobody knows how big it's gonna get, or how messy it's gonna get, or does it turn into a Godzilla, or does it turn into a superhero robot? We don't know, and we have no idea right now. It's just confusing. So that's the whole thing. So maybe you guys dealing with these things in the physical realm and these challenges, just trust yourself, trust your guides, and create. And again, do you see how my voice all of a sudden went right back to normal? It is a process of clearing, and it is a process of shedding and trusting yourself to be able to handle whatever comes into your life right now. But again, the more you step into this power and you say no when it doesn't resonate, and you stop throwing your power away, and you see through the tactics and the games and the anxiety and the worries and the fear mongering at play, the more you're going to transform through all of this, the more that you're going to step further and further into your path. They want me to do a third reading on this serious message, this messenger card. So I'm going to do a third message for this collective. But that being said, we're going to end this with the song that's playing, Who's Gonna Save My Soul by Gnarls Barkley. Is it Gnarls? Yeah. CeeLo Green and Danger Mouse. So, Who's Gonna Save My Soul? That's what this messenger card is about. We're going to get into it in a third message. Take care.